everyone, it's Erica. Welcome back to Maniacal Reader. I know you guys haven't seen me in a while, but school has been crazy. I've had a lot of tests and exams to study for, so that's why you haven't seen me. Today I'm going to be doing my February wrap-up. I read 4 books in the month of February. The first book I read was Pivot Point by Casey West. This is the first book in the Pivot Point duology. It's a young adult paranormal fantasy duology. It follows this girl named Addison Coleman. She is a searcher, and when faced with a choice, she has the ability to look into the future and see different outcomes. When her parents tell her that they are getting a divorce, she takes a search 6 weeks into the future to find out which future she wants to live in. I gave this book 4 out of 5 stars because I really liked it. The world in this book is fascinating. The characters in this book live in a place called the Compound, and in this world, people are psychologically advanced. But in this book, Addison spends a lot of time in the normal world outside of the Compound with her dad. When she is living with her dad, she meets a boy named Trevor, and they start to like each other. Back in her other life, where she stays in the Compound and lives with her mom, she meets this guy named Duke at a football game, and they start a relationship. She's not sure what to think of Duke at the beginning of the book, and it doesn't seem that she really likes him. After one date, Duke seems to think that Addison is his girlfriend, which she doesn't really like. Since she doesn't really like that relationship, and just because of Duke's personality, I didn't really like their matchup in this book. Addison also has a best friend named Layla, who lives in the Compound, and she has the ability to erase memories. There's a twist surrounding Layla in this book which I thought was cool, and it made for an exciting ending. The next book I read was Split Second by Casey West. This is the second and final book in the Pivot Point duology. Since this is a sequel, I won't go into too much detail, but I gave this book 5 out of 5 stars. I loved this book more than I did the first one because it developed the characters and the plot more in detail. I liked Addison's relationship in this book. It was who I wanted her to end up with. I liked this duology a lot. The only negative thing I would say about it, though, is that there's a lack of world building and no explanation for the Compound or where the characters' psychological abilities come from. So there wasn't really explanation about the world in this duology, and that's what I didn't like. After reading the Pivot Point duology, I read The Fifth Wave by Rick Yancey. This is a young adult sci-fi dystopian trilogy, and The Fifth Wave is the first book. This book is about a world where aliens try to invade the Earth by killing off the human race. The main character's name is Cassie. Her life hasn't been normal since the others came. The others have kidnapped her brother Sam, so she has to find a way to find him. Along the way, she meets a guy named Evan Walker, and they strike up a romance. Cassie didn't seem to trust Evan at first, but their romance blossoms. In terms of Cassie and Evan's relationship, I thought their relationship was like insta-love. It felt like their relationship developed too quickly for me. I gave this book 4 out of 5 stars because I really liked the world building. I especially enjoyed reading the first part of The Fifth Wave. A lot of this book is told by Cassie's perspective, and it made me feel like I was right there with her and I could feel sympathy for her for all the devastation and things that she's been through since the others came. I also liked the explanations of the different waves that the others have brought on society, and just Cassie's experiences when those other waves happened. I liked the explanation of the fifth wave that readers find out about in this book, and I was completely intrigued with it. Overall, I really liked this book, and I could definitely see myself rereading it in the future. I plan to do a review of this book when I read the final book in the trilogy. The last book I read in February was The Infinite Sea, the sequel to the fifth wave. I won't go into too much detail about this book since it is a sequel. I gave this book 4 out of 5 stars, and I liked it less than the fifth wave. This book is written very differently than the fifth wave. Instead of this book primarily focusing on Cassie's journey and her story, this book is written from multiple perspectives and focuses more on some of the secondary characters that were in the fifth wave, so we get to hear more of their story. I do have to say that I did like Ringer's story in this book. I enjoyed getting to know more about her and her story. I liked her character in this book. She's sort of like a badass, sassy character who isn't timid or anything. She likes to take the bull by the horns and just run with life. Since this book follows a lot of the secondary characters from the fifth wave, I did enjoy hearing their perspectives, but the perspective I enjoyed most was Ringer. Ringer does have a relationship in this book, and I really liked her relationship with a guy in this book. I thought this relationship developed more naturally, slowly, and more genuinely than Cassie and Evan's relationship, to be honest. I'm curious to see if the final book in the trilogy, called The Last Star, will shed more light into their relationship. There you have it. Those are all the books that I read in February. I hope you guys enjoyed this wrap-up. Comment down below and tell me what books you read in February. If you've liked any of the books that I've mentioned and why. I look forward to hearing your thoughts down below. That's all for my video today. I'll see you guys in my next one. Bye!